So what are refusals when dealing with a DWI case? What could be refused? What are the consequences?
Once a person is pulled over by the police, you can refuse to even talk to the police officer. Start with that. You have a right to remain silent even on a speeding ticket. But that being said, the police officer may ask you to take one of these preliminary breath tests. You can refuse to blow into that. And there really is no ramification for that. You can be subjected to. They'll ask you to take these, what they refer to as these standardized field sobriety tests, where they ask you to do unnatural acts. They ask people to stand on one leg. They ask people to walk heel to toe on a straight line. Some police officer will ask you to follow his pen as if he's an eye doctor. We appreciate the fact that he may be trained by another police officer to have you take this test called a horizontal gaze nystagmus test, but he's not a medical doctor. And standing on one leg and walking a straight line, people by virtue of their age, their sex, their height, their weight, their build, may not be good candidates to even take these tests. These tests can also be refused, and there are no ramifications to that either. Again, it was my opinion that most people say, I'm fine, I can do this. You really have very little to gain because you can't pass a field sobriety test. The tests are made for failure. They cannot be passed. And even if you do everything properly, the police officer will either say you performed poorly or they'll say the test was inconclusive. The next test that really is the big test is the breath or chemical test when you get back to the police precinct. If you submit to a breath test and it comes up as a 0 because you never anything to drink and the police will think that you're under the influence of drugs, they're going to ask you to submit to a urine test. So all of these tests can be refused. And very seldom are they in your favor that you're going to be having them. Of course, there are certain negative things when you refuse to take a test. We are in New York State. We are in an implied consent state. By virtue of getting a license in New York, you consent to take a chemical test. If you refuse to take the test, you can lose your license for a year.